Yeah, Black Family Power. It's KingLeonX, KLX, the Human Liberator. This is episode 67. It's episode 67 of Take Charge of Your Life, Take Charge of Your Mind, Take Charge of your day, right? Take charge of your mental attitude, right? Don't be the person who works harder on yourself than you do on your job. Don't be the person that works harder. Don't be the person that works harder on your job than you do on yourself. That's what I meant to say. Don't be the person that works harder on your job than you do on building a relationship and maintaining harmony with your family. Don't be the person who works harder on your job than you do with your spiritual development, family, because I promise the journey to self-mastery and personal productivity, taking responsibility for the space that we occupy, is a great one to be on. And once you start on this journey, you'll never turn back. This is what I'm saying. And so today, what we're gonna be talking about the seasons of life. It's gonna be a Leaders or Readers edition. Monday morning today is March 6, 2017. It's our midday motivation. It's our midday self-mastery series. All right. And so what we're talking about this week, today we're talking about the seasons of life. And I wanted to read some excerpts from 7 Strategies for Health and Happiness from Jim Rohn. I wanted to read these excerpts so then we could get a great understanding. We could get a pure understanding of the seasons and how it relates to commerce and how it relates to life, right? Because if we study the things that already exist, I'm sure it's going to tell us more about ourselves. And there's no solution outside of ourselves either. All right, I might be able to guide you to the water, but I can't make you drink. I could, and we could provide the opportunities to learn and investigate, ourselves and our personal power. We can provide the concepts and ideas and the strategies and processes that multiple people have used, thousands and hundreds of thousands of people have used to achieve material riches of their own choice and quantity, but we cannot make you execute these strategies. We cannot make you apply the strategies. We cannot form realizations in your mind for you. The only way for realizations to happen is for when you realize them internally. Only thing that I can do, only thing that we can do, when I say we, I mean my lowest self and my highest self. Only thing that we can do is just provide simple words, concepts, and ideas. And so what we doing today, we getting ideas and concepts from Jim Rohn, talking about the seasons of life, okay? And so this is episode 67 of Take Charge of Your Life. If I say something that resonates with you, go ahead and type make the choice. All right, if I say something that resonates with you, go ahead, type make the choice. But this is going to be a Leaders or Readers video as well. # Leaders or Readers. You pick up a book, read 1 to 3 pages, challenge your timeline to do the same. So the seasons of life. Here are two phrases that I want you to consider. First, life and commerce are like the seasons. All right, this is the first phrase that we want you to consider. Life and commerce are like the seasons. The second is you cannot change the seasons, but you can change yourself. If you're taking notes, these are the first things that you want to put on your notes. Life and commerce is like the seasons. The second thing you want to put on the notes is you cannot change the seasons, but you can change yourself. All right. So now we're about to talk about these seasons and how to handle them. All right. Winter. Right? We're going to start with winter. Right? The first and foremost, we must learn how to handle the winters. There are all kinds of winters. Hold up. I don't feel like sitting down anymore. There are all kinds of winters, all right? There's economic winters, when the financial wolves are at the door, right? There are physical winters, when your health is shot. And there are also personal winters, when your heart is smashed into pieces. All right? Again, if we say something that resonates with you in this episode, you go ahead and type make the choice. We talk about handling the seasons, right? So there's an economic winter. If you're taking notes, there's an economic winter. There is a physical winter, right? Which we all are aware of. And then there are personal winters. Personal winters is when our heart is smashed into pieces, right? So the winter time is disappointments and loneliness. Loneliness and disappointments. That's winter. All right? That's how the blues were written. So the big question is, how do we handle the winters? How do we handle the winters, family? How do we handle disappointment? How do we handle hard times? How do we handle heartbreak? How do we handle a bad investment? How do we handle falling? How do we handle when our back's against a wall? How do we handle it? Right? So let me tell you what mature people do. Oh, all right. Well, some people, first off, to handle the winter, they might tear out the whole month of January out of the calendar and pretend it's not there. But that's an extremely childish approach. Let's talk about what mature people would do. Let's see how the mature people of the world handle the winters. All right? The mature people get stronger, they get wiser, and they get better. Again, the first season that we want to learn how to handle is the winters. There's economic winters, when your finances is down, physical winters when your health is shot, and personal winters when your heart is smashed into pieces, right? Mature people realize that you cannot change the seasons, but you can change yourself. In changing yourself, then you get stronger, you get wiser, and you get better. You can do that. You can make the choice no matter what comes your way, no matter what obstacles, no matter what type of financial setbacks, no matter what type of heartbreak, no matter who's not going to be in your life with you on all the way on the full journey. It doesn't matter, right? One thing that you do know for a fact is that it's only a winter. Winter doesn't last always, and during this winter, you could get stronger, wiser, and better, right? That's not a bad idea. Use the winter for personal development. Right? Use the winters for personal development. Before I understood this, I used to spend my winters looking for summers. Right? How many people do that? Right? So we spend our now thinking about the past or the future. Majority of all the moments, most people they miss the power of now. They miss the beauty of each breath that they take. They neglect the breath, not realizing that the breath itself is God. The breath itself is life. So instead of focusing on that breathing and focusing on the power that comes from that, instead they'll breathe, but they neglect the gratitude for breath. Instead, they want to sit and worry and fear on things that they did in the past, and guilt and frustration, or they're using their imagination to apply fear and turmoil to the future. Don't wish it was easier, right? Wish you were better. Don't wish for fewer problems. Wish for more skills. Don't wish for less challenge. Wish for more wisdom. Since I learned this information, I can honestly tell you that I've welcomed the winters. I welcome all winters. All winters. I use my winters to gear me up for spring. Since that's what follows. All right? So that's the first section that we were talking about. Learn how to handle the seasons, and learning how to handle the seasons. The first season is winter, right? Economic winters, personal winters, and physical winters, right? When your health's bad, your body's hurt, you're aching, your heart's broken, your bank account is in a negative, or something like that. These are all winters, right? These are winters. We have to learn how to handle the winters of life. The second season is spring, right? Spring always comes after winter. All right, put that in your notes. Spring always comes after winter. You have to remind yourself that you cannot change the planet, you cannot change the seasons, but you can change yourself. You can become more powerful. You can become smarter. You can become better. You can become more capable of overcoming the challenges of the day. Right? So spring is the time to take advantage. Learn to take advantage of the spring. What a great place for spring to be. Right after winter. opportunity follows difficulty. So we have to know this in life, family. We are it's opposites in conflict, right? Opposites in conflict. Opportunity mixed with difficulty, right? Opportunity mixed with difficulty. This is what life is. This is what life is, family. And so we must know that what comes before opportunity is difficulty, and what comes after opportunity is difficulty, right? We live recession and expansion, right? These are the opposites that are in conflict. This is when we begin to understand this, and we understand the flow of life, and we understand the flow of how nature actually works, we can see how it works inside of our lives as well, and use our power to determine that direction that we want to go to. So opportunity follows difficulty, right? Just like spring follows the winter, right? Winter is those setbacks, those disappointments of and loneliness, right? Expansion follows recession. It's just like clockwork, right? The creator, the Most High, the absolute all is a genius. This is how it's set up. We have to understand the divine mind in the setup. Spring is the time to take advantage. Note these two words though, right? When you put spring, if you're still taking notes, spring is the time to take advantage, family. To take advantage. Spring is the time to take advantage. Don't let the cold, harsh winter confuse you, right? Don't let your financial setbacks, don't let your body ache, don't let your heartbreak confuse you. Don't let these things confuse you, family, because what comes after these things is opportunity, right? Don't let the winter confuse you. Okay. If you want to look good in the fall, right, because fall comes after summer, we're going to get to fall in a little bit. But if you want to look good in the fall, you have to use the spring as the time to plant seeds, right? We're learning about the seasons, and from seasons is going to determine or tell us how to live the good life. All right, we're reading. This is episode 67 of Take Charge of Your Life. It's our midday self-mastery, self-motivation series. And on this edition, we're covering 7 strategies of wealth and happiness. We're reading out of that book, and we're talking about seasons. We're talking about learning how to deal and to grow with the seasons, right? We cannot change the seasons, but we can change ourselves. We've already covered that. Winters, right? Financial winters, economic winters, physical winters. Winters are the time of loneliness. Winters are the time of disappointment. Right? When the financial wolves are at your door, your health is shot, right? Your heart is smashed into pieces. I just recently got over some heartbreaks, right? Heartbreak is probably one of the worst winters of them all, right? Probably heartbreak is one of the worst winters of them all. It feels the worst. I know that, man. I know it feels worse to have my heart broken than to have a negative bank account. I'll tell you that. But these are winters, right? And during the winters, we use that time to get stronger, to get wiser, and to get better, right? And then following the winter comes spring. How often? Every single time. Every single time winter follows, or spring follows winter. Spring is the time to take advantage. Spring is the time of opportunity. Spring is the time to plant the seeds, okay? In fact, we have to excel at one of 2 things in the spring, okay? And in the spring, we have to excel at 1 or 2 things. 1 to 2 things in the spring we have to excel at. We either have to become good at planting, right? We have to be good at planting seeds in the spring, or we have to learn how to beg in the fall, right? There's only 2 choices for the springtime. You're either going to plant the seeds, you're either going to plant, because check this out, family. The seeds, whether you constructively planting seeds or you're not, whether you consciously planting constructive seeds that with the type of fruit that you wish to bear, you're either doing that constructively, consciously, aware of your power to do that, or you're not. But if you're not consciously planting the proper seeds in the spring, we're gonna talk. I'm gonna deal with that in the fall. Yo, Elwood, what up, family? Hey, if I say something that resonate with y'all, go ahead, type, make the choice. But here it goes. So get busy in the spring, family. Get busy. It's just a handful of springs for each of us. Life isn't that long. It's just a handful of springs. Only a handful of springs. The Beatles wrote, Life is too short. Life is short. Life is short. That's what the Beatles wrote. The Beatles wrote life is short, right? And for Mike Brown and for Mike Brown and Ferguson, it was extra short, right? Life is short, but for Mike Brown, it was extra short. All right? Mike Brown only had 18 springs. Mike Brown only had 18 winters. Mike Brown only had 18 summers and 18 falls, you see? So listen, life is short. Even at its longest, it's short. Even at its longest, it's extremely short, family. So we want to make sure that we are taking the time. Uh-oh, I dropped my headphone. My headphones came out. We want to make sure that we taking the time to learn and investigate the power that we have and the things that people have before us have left for us, the treasures of ideas. The treasures of ideas that the legends wrote, family, because people have, believe it or not, people have figured out this life already. People have figured out life. People do have words, concepts, and ideas that we could get into our spirit, and it will definitely increase our life's quality. Right? So we talked about the winters, right? The winters is the time of disappointment. You got your financial winters. You got your economic winters, you got your physical winters. Disappointment, loneliness, heartbreak, right? Your winters, right? What comes after winters is the springs. Spring is the time to take advantage. If you're planting seeds in the fall, or you're planting seeds in the spring, then in the fall you will have your harvest. And I want you to know that whether you're planting seeds or not, the fall is still going to come. And so whether your crops have bear fruit, or not, whether your seeds have became physical things, the physical things that you desired, I'm here to let you know that whatever seeds that you're sowing in the spring, that's what you're gonna get in the fall. That's what I'm here to tell you. Hold on, damn this. And so now we're gonna cover the summers real quick, because we talking about the life, learning how to deal with the seasons of life, and we talking about the summers right now. Alright, hold on, man. My headphones is going crazy. I got this new phone, too. Alright. Listen, summers, right? We talking about the summers right now. Alright, the summer is the time to take care. So if you're taking notes, summer is the time to take care. Right? Time to take care. The summer in the summers, right? This is what you want to write. Learn to nourish and protect your crops all summer. Right? The summertime is when we protect what we planted in the spring. You can bet as soon as you've planted, insects and weeds will try and destroy your crops. As soon as you planted, you could bet this. Put your money on this. Insects and weeds will try and destroy your crop, and they will succeed at it unless you prevent them. Learn, peep this, yo. Part of seeding is to learning to protect what you plant. Learn to protect what you plant. See, Tulsa, Oklahoma, and Black Wall Street, they planted a lot of seeds. They did a lot of constructive activities, right? In 1920, 1918, 1919, 1920, 1921, they produced more wealth than pretty much all the other cities, right? It was a top earning city in the country, right? They built these things. They built these industries. They built these systems. They built these factories. They built these banks. They built these schools, right? And it was all destroyed. It was all destroyed in 1-2 nights, because yes, they built it. Yes, they planted their seeds, but they didn't understand. They missed the part of protecting what they plant, protecting what they create. Part of succeeding is learning to protect what you created. That is the lesson of the summer, right? So the spring is in the springs, we're learning how to endure through hard times. In the spring, summer or winter, we worried about personal development. We know that it doesn't last always. This is heartbreak. This is setback. This is failure. This is financial. Where blah 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 blah. In the spring, we plant. So winter, winter, we focus on personal development. In the spring, we taking advantage of these new opportunities and these new sunshines. We take an opportunity by planting seeds, right? And determining and getting our intentions and all these things out there, right? In the summer, we protect what we've planted all spring, right? And so there's two truths for you to know during the spring, summertime. I don't know if you're taking notes, but if you're taking notes, there's two major points for the summertime, right? That you must know. You must know this. You must know and learn that all good will be attacked. Come on, write this down. Write this down. And then if you listen, and go ahead, type make the choice, because you've experienced this in your own life. Every time that you started to try and do something good or constructive, it was attacked. And maybe you weren't prepared for that attack and you folded, you quit, you gave up. You see, all good will be attacked. Don't ask me why. I don't know the reason why. Don't press for the reason. But just know that it's true. Every garden will be invaded. Not to think so is naive. Come on, family. Come on. All good will be attacked. So this is the summertime. This is where we learn. In the summer, we learn how to protect the seeds that we planted. Because all good will be attacked. That's the first thing to remember about the summer. The second thing is that you'll also have to learn that all values must be defended. All values must be defended, family. All values. Hold up. I think I go over here. All values must be defended. Hold on. Hold up. Because I'm in the middle of doing something, but I'm like, yo, it's noon. Let me get this take charge of your life out the way. Listen. All values must be defended. All right, all values, everything that you created must be protected, and all values must be defended. This is what I'm here to tell you, family. All values. We talked about, matter of fact, I believe it was like episode 23. This is episode 67 right now. I think episode 20 something, we were talking about values. We were talking about values and virtues and the importance of these things, right? All values must be protected. Okay? These are our social values, our political values, our martial and our commercial values. You on the phone?
No.
Oh, all right.
Still can't submit and get it with this. You got an idea.
Yeah, but hold on. I'm in the middle of take charge of your life. But yes. So like I was saying, hold on, let me plug these headphones back in. But like I was saying, family, let me read this paragraph again. Here are two truths that you must learn during your summers. The first is that all good will be attacked. Don't press me for the reason. I don't know why, but know that it is true. Every garden will be invaded. Not to understand this is naive. The second is that you must learn to defend. You learn that all values must be defended. All values, social, political, martial, and commercial, they must be defended. Every garden must be tended to all summer. Unless you defend what you believe in, come fall, you'll have nothing left. Right? So understand, when we're talking about dealing with the seasons and understanding life and how it goes as far as with the seasons is concerned, we understand, okay, we cover winter already, right? We cover springs. We cover summer. What comes after summer? The fall. So again, winter, this is the time where we focus on personal development. Winter is the time to grow strong, right? A time to grow strong. This is the winter, right? Our disappointments, our loneliness, our heartbreak, when we have ill health and all these other little different types of things. Spring's the time to take advantage. So winter is the time to grow strong. Winter is the time to take advantage, right? Summer is the time to take care, right? In the spring, you have to you plant seeds for the fall, so for your harvest. The summertime is when we take care and protect those crops, nourish those crops, right? We must defend our values, right? And then that leads us to fall, which is the fourth and final season. And life just keeps repeating like this, right? We live in a world of opportunity mixed with difficulty. So winter is a time to grow strong. Spring is a time to take advantage. Summer is a time to take care. And fall is a time to take responsibility. This is where I'm growing the most, or the area in which I had to grow the most. And also, most people, when I study personal achievement and I study people who take charge of their life and went from poverty to power in one lifetime, and have turned their idea into its financial, physical equivalent, they got this lesson of the fall. Fall is time to take responsibility. All right? Fall is the season where we reap the results of our spring and summers. Maturity can be defined in our ability to take full responsibility for the crops we have tended to, either bountiful or meager. So what does that mean? That means our level of maturity is determined based on our ability to take full responsibility for our results and for what we've produced. Whether our crops are bountiful, whether it's the fruit that we desired, or is meager, whether it's skimp, whether we have only a little bit or none at all. Accepting full responsibility is the highest form of human maturity and one of the hardest. So don't think that it's just you. Don't think that it's hard for you to take full responsibility, because according to the psychologists, the sociologists, and philosophers, according to the greatest spiritual teachers of the world, that are here now and that have been here since existence, they all say one of the hardest things to do is to accept full responsibility. This is the day that you pass from childhood into adulthood. This is when like biblical literature says, when I was a child, I thought as a child, I spoke as a child. When I became a man, I put those childish things away. One of the biggest things, besides living out someone else's goal and living out someone else's purpose for you, is to take full responsibility. This is why we started Take Charge of Your Life on talking about cause and effect and the universal law of cause and result. We live in a world of cause and result, cause and effect. And since we're talking about planting and crops, then we could say reaping and sowing, right? We live in a world of reaping and sowing. And guess what? You reap what you sow. So whether you're consciously sowing constructive thought patterns and constructive beliefs that lead towards sound health and peace of mind, freedom from fear, hope for future achievement, complete self-discipline, harmony in your relationships, and these types of parts of the good life, or whether you're not, just know that in the fall we are going to reap what we sow. So again, one of the hardest things to do, and the highest form of human maturity, is to accept full responsibility for our results. This is the day we come from childhood to manhood, or childhood to adulthood. We must learn to welcome the fall and our results of the fall without apology or complaint, right? Without apology or complaint, right? And again, this episode 67, Take Charge of Your Life, is our midday self-mastery, self-motivation series, right? And what I'm here to say to you is that if I say something that resonates with you, you type make the choice. But we must learn to take responsibility in the fall, without apology if we've done well, and without complaint if we haven't. This episode is really hitting my mind hard. Wow. Yes. Hey, I'm glad you're tuning in. I'm glad you're tuning in, Ralph. You feel me? Like I said, I'm gonna do my Take Charge of Your Life videos regardless of whether anybody's tuned in or nobody's tuned in. You know what I mean? I'm not too much concerned with the amount of views and viewers, because I know that the messaging is potent. And the people that it's supposed to resonate with, it will. So I appreciate you, Ralph, for expressing that. I really do. This is gonna hit even harder. And again, we just learning some words from we just discussing some concepts and ideas that one of the legends wrote. Fall, right? We in the fall. We in the last part of this episode. I'm gonna just go ahead and read what Jim Rohn has to say concerning fall, and then I'm gonna discuss it a little bit, and then we gonna end it. Learn to welcome fall without apology or complaint. Without apology if you've done well, and without complaint if you haven't. It's not easy, but it's the mature thing to do. I used to have a lot of problems in this area back in those early days. Just in case anyone asked, I used to carry with me my list of reasons for not doing well. My list was predictably called Reasons for Not Doing Well. Do you have those? Do you have a list? Remember, I believe it was episode 30 something. We were talking about giving up our blame list. We were talking about the blame list. This is where I got it from. This is where I first heard of the concept of blame list, from Jim Rohn's Reasons for Not Doing Well. He said, in my list of reasons for not doing well, it included lots of alibis. I blamed the government. The government was on the top of my list. I blamed taxes. Look what you've got left after they take everything out. I blame prices. You walk into the supermarket with $20 and come out with half a bag of groceries. I blame the weather. I blame the traffic. I blame my car and the manufacturer. I blame my negative relatives. They were always putting me down. I blame my cynical neighbors. I blame my community. I had lots of good reasons for not doing well. Well, at least I thought I did. Okay. Yeah, I got you. Okay, I'll just check the comments. Hey, family. I see you said you type make a choice, Brother Evans. Yeah, we can make a choice, but what we're talking about is make the choice. There's only one choice that could be made, which is to take possession of our minds, directed to the ends that we choose or not. It's either to accept full responsibility for the space that we occupy, become our greatest version, take full responsibility for our results, or not. These are things that will be a struggle if it's something that is a new concept to us. Right, I got introduced to these concepts in my early 20s. Now I'm in my later 20s, and I've been able to see some of my new philosophies and beliefs manifested. And so it's important for me to get back. The reason I started taking charge of your life is so I could get back to some of those old philosophies and concepts and ideas that resurrected me from where I used to be. But again, this is the book that we read out of, 7 Strategies for Wealth and Happiness by Jim Rohn. For Ralph, you said you wanted to know what we was reading out of. This is one of my favorite books, and Jim Rohn actually is my favorite pilgrim that existed, simply just because of the information that he left us. Mr. Shoaff was Jim Rohn's mentor. Mr. Shoaff was very kind, but he was also blunt. One day he looked at me with a quizzical expression on his face and just asked out of curiosity, "Tell me why you haven't done well up to now." Excellent question, right? Well, so I didn't look bad. I decided to run through my list. How I ever had the nerve, I'll never know. But I did. I went right through my list. I went through the whole litany list. The government, taxes, prices, everything. He listened patiently as I went through it all. Right when I finished, he peered at my list for a few moments, finally shaking his head. He said, "Mr. Rohn, there's one thing wrong with your list. You ain't on it." When I first got introduced to those concepts, it wasn't through this book, it was through a Jim Rohn lecture. And I was relating to him when he was going through all of his list of reasons for not doing well. And I was like, yeah, those are some pretty good reasons. But then Mr. Shoaff said, Mr. Shoaff told him that, "Hey man, you not on your list, man." He said that's an issue right there. Afterwards, I tore up my list of reasons for not doing well, and I got a fresh piece of paper, and across the top, I put one word: me. There is a Negro spiritual that says, it's not my mother, nor my father, nor my brother, nor my sister, but it's me, O Lord, standing in the need of prayer. I used to blame everything outside of me for my lack of progress until I found out that the problem was inside. Right? So when we talk about our inner world creates our outer world, when we talk about we live in a world of cause and effect and cause and result, when we talk about our belief system is going to determine our thoughts, which is going to determine our words and decisions, which is going to determine our actions, which is going to become our habits, which is going to become our character. Right? And then our character becomes our destiny, ultimately. So if we want to alter our destiny, we must alter the story that we believe about ourselves. And oftentimes the story that we believe about ourselves is just a whole bunch of lies. We picked up, I don't know where we picked these things up, but that's why it's important for us to reevaluate what we believe and question these things. Because I had read something yesterday that said that right now you could judge about what your life is right now and who you are like right now in this physical moment. But that would be it would be only partial reality, because who you are right now is not who you are, and like what you have right now is not what you are, it's who you were. Who I am right now, the person that I am right now that's manifesting to y'all, is who I was, you see, because it's my past thoughts and actions that led me here, and then now my current thoughts and actions are projecting themselves out into the future, accepting and being grateful for all of the things that are already mine in an energy form. These things are just waiting for me to enlarge my vision of myself, expand my territory, expand the level of personal responsibility and personal accountability that I do take, even for my faults. Yo, what's up, Kevin? I see you in here, man. Make the choice. I see you. It's not what happens that determines the outcome. What happens to everyone. Two brothers have an abusive, alcoholic father. One becomes criminal, the other one becomes a judge. The same event, two different results. How can it be? It's because it's not what happens, but rather what you do about it that matters. Anything can happen, right? I've heard all the stories. I've been one of the stories. We could all tell war stories until the day ends. You've heard of Murphy's Law, right? Well, it's this guy named Murph, and he has this law that says anything that can go wrong will. And I'm here to tell you, Murphy, yeah, he might got these laws. I'm here to tell you, he wasn't one of the great motivational speakers of the day, right? But Murphy got these laws. Murph's law said anything that can go wrong will, and it does. Said I've fallen out of the sky too many times. Once to a tune of $2 million. Devastating. It took me a while to get over that one. See, Jim Rohn, he said he fell out of the sky to a tune of $2 million. I fell out of the sky to a tune of $2,000 before, and it took me a while to get over it. Right? Now, I admit, to some people, a couple milli isn't that much, but that was all I had. And that's a lot. Anytime you lose all you got, that's a lot. There was a time when once you ran out of money and got to zero, you were through. Heck, today, you could whistle on by zero and get some borrowed money. These days, they will bury you with credit. But those are happenings. Everyone's got his or her story. Yes, someone says, but you don't understand the disappointments I've had. Come on. Everybody's got disappointments. Disappointments are not special gifts reserved for you. Disappointments are not special gifts reserved for black people. Right? He didn't say that. This is my introduction. This is my interjection. Right? Disappointments are not special gifts reserved for us. Right? Disappointments are for us all. Because it's through disappointment and through conflict that it pushes us to turn inward. It pushes us to learn more about our personal power. Right? Disappointments are not special gifts reserved for you. The question is, what are you going to do about them? That is the question, right? And this was episode 67 of Take Charge of Your Life. It's our midday self-mastery motivation series. We talked about dealing with the seasons. We read out of Jim Rohn, 7 Strategies for Wealth and Happiness. Power ideas from America's foremost business philosopher. We talked about the winter. The winter is the time to grow strong. It consists of our economic winters, personal winters, and physical winters, right? When your bank account is in the negative, right? When your body is hurt, your health is shot. When your heart is broken into pieces. Winter, those disappointments, those loneliness, those moments of loneliness and despair. The winters. Winter is the time to grow strong, right? In the winter, you can act like it doesn't exist, or you could try and think about the summer all winter, or you can use the winters as what they are and use those as a time to get stronger, to get better, to get wiser. The winters, right? What comes after winter is spring. That's the setup. I didn't set it up that way, but that's just how I know it is, right? Opportunity mixed with difficulty, right? Expansion and recession. Recession, then expansion. The spring. This is the time to plant the seeds. This is the time, the spring is the time for us to take advantage. Take advantage of the opportunities that are available for us. Take advantage of sowing the seeds of constructive thoughts. Planting the seeds of whatever type of fruit that we wish to have harvest in fall. The spring is the time to take advantage. Right? The summer is the time to take care. So the summer is the time to learn how to nourish and protect the crops that we planted all summer. Right? All good will be attacked. Right? We must learn that all good must be attacked. Therefore, we must protect and defend all good. All good is all God. All good is God. Those values, those social values, political values, economic values, martial values, commercial values, family values, we must protect these in the time of summer. And then fall is the time to take responsibility. So if we weren't focused on becoming stronger, better, wiser in the spring, in the winter, then we probably weren't using the spring to take advantage of planting constructive seeds, which means that we didn't have any crops really to protect and nurture in the summer, which means in the fall we're gonna have to take full responsibility for that land that has still been unyielded. For those, we must take full responsibility for whatever outcome, whatever results that we get, right? And so this is life in the seasons. Life and commerce is like the seasons. You cannot change the seasons, but you can change yourself. It's KingLeonX, the Human Liberator. This was episode 67 of Take Charge of Your Life. Go ahead, like it, comment, make the choice, and share it, because I know something in this video it definitely will provide a concept and idea that will increase the quality of someone's life. So with that being said, y'all stay grateful.